From Clark Gillies Arena in Dix Hills, Long Island, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Catholic Hockey League showdown between rivals Chaminade and St. Anthony's. This AA showdown brought to you by Maspeth Federal Savings Bank. Well, good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with John Perez, and it is the latest chapter of a long-standing rivalry, regardless of the sport. Chaminade and St. Anthony's, you're guaranteed an emotionally charged game, a physical game, and one, too, that it's generally speaking two of the best teams in that league, whether it's lacrosse or hockey or football. And that is the case here tonight, John, in a game where, look, these two teams have played numerous big-time playoff matchups, but when it comes to the regular season, there is no bigger game because it's honestly whoever wins tonight ends up winning the regular season and being the number one seed for the postseason. So a lot on the line, a lot more than just the rivalry on the line.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between playing two games right here or playing two games at Canteg over in Nassau County, and both of these teams know that, and both of them want the home ice advantage. And don't let anybody tell you that home ice doesn't mean anything come playoff time. It certainly does. This is what you've been playing for all year. It's a fun rivalry. It's been a palpable buzz in the lobby as they start to come over, the fans making their ways. Reds on our left and black and yellow on our right. It's going to be a fun one. I'm super charged up for this one. Yeah,
we'll show you the standings in the Catholic Hockey League AA division just to sort of further illustrate what we're talking about and the importance of this one. You see there, Chaminade, they've been the standard bearer this year, the most consistent team throughout the entire season. But a tie a week ago at Cantiag against Monsignor Farrell opened the door a little bit for St. Anthony's, and St. Anthony's has walked through that door. They went up to the Ice Hutch in Mount Vernon. They beat Iona. They beat Monsignor Farrell here in a game we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, which sets this game up here. If St. Anthony's wins, they will be tied on points, but the tiebreaker will be most wins. And that you see there, it would put St. Anthony's at 12 to Chaminade's 11. Right now, this is the playoff field. There's no changing it. There's no even changing the order beyond Chaminade and St. Anthony's. Farrell will be 4, Xavier will be 3, but it's about the top two teams going into the playoffs tonight.
And all credit to Bob Lund's squad as well. This is a team that plays north of 50 games a year between this league and, of course, the Suffolk League as well. And, it wasn't the best start for the year for the Friars. They had to deal with some injuries. They weren't getting as much production out of their top line as they thought that they would. But they've really battled back, and it's been fun to see on the Varsity Media Sports Network those wins over Fordham Prep, over Xavier, and over Farrell, who you saw them the other night. I know the score wasn't indicative, Dylan, but on any given night, some of the top keepers on those teams as well. It's not an easy out in the playoffs, and if you could get that number one seed, it's going to help you throughout. And, of course, like we said, in a 3-game series, you want to have 2 games at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche to say, right? But I think St. Anthony's is playing its best hockey at the best time of the year. And Chaminade's playing really well, too, right? They, again, have been the most consistent team. They're coming off a non-league win over a Pelham team that is one of the best in New York State Public League, right? So a big win for Chaminade, a little bit under sized the Flyers are tonight, just in terms of some key numbers. They've got a couple of D-men that are out tonight, Michael Bonino and John Dunn, as well as Cooper Zawatoski. He's out, but there is a couple of major players in for Chaminade. I will show you their players to watch. And when we spoke with Ed Smith, their head coach, he talked all about Hetty, right? And James Hedquist, and you see the numbers there, John. We saw it last year from him, and he's gone even better this year. One of the best players in this league.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about Hedquist is we're watching him take a couple of shots. He's a bona fide sniper. Probably has one of the fastest wrist shots in the league, and you've got Kieran Thompson right behind him. But I think what makes Chaminade so great is that they don't have the biggest size, which is fine, but they're so fast, and they play north and south hockey and can get up and down the ice so easily, and that if they could get behind St. Anthony's defenseman, it could be a long day for the Friars keeper.
You see Kieran Thompson there, 16 goals, 18 assists. He plays, as his coach says, with an edge, and that edge gets a little bit sharpened when the Friars on the other side. So It'll be interesting to see how Thompson plays here tonight. Hedquist has been all over the first two matchups, scored a hat trick in a 7-5 win here on opening night of the season, and then he had a goal and 2 assists in a 3-0 win over at Cantiac. So that is the story for Chaminade and St. Anthony's. I mean, look, these two head coaches both played for their teams. They're good friends. There's so many similarities between the two teams as well, and you see where they are at the top of the standings. But it's similar also with St. Anthony's. Even Ed Smith said, listen, Hetty is our Nick DeAndrea, right? And DeAndrea will show as one of our players to watch. It's impossible to change up DeAndrea from the players to watch that we have because he is, in fact, so impactful. You see 20 goals, 14 assists. And Anthony Colavecchio, we put him here tonight because of the Hedquist factor, because of the Thompson factor. You need to have a lockdown D-man, and Colavecchio could be that for the Friars tonight. Yeah,
Colavecchio, one of the better defensemen in the league, if not the best. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch as Colavecchio, both Colavecchio brothers, going against Hedquist. And you know what? If Hedquist is going to be the best player in this league, Nick DeAndrea is certainly the most exciting player to watch. He can dangle. He can get up and down. He finds a good wrist shot. He always finds an open, empty shot to get an open shot, and that's exactly what he can do.
Let's show you the keys to this game for both teams. And again, kind of similar mantras, right? With each can play with controlled emotions, said Chaminade head coach Ed Smith. Keep the game simple. And really both coaches have said that. It's about dump and chase. It's about forechecking. And Chaminade wants the back check as intense as their forecheck. For St. Anthony's, again, control the offensive zone, put traffic in front, get some rebounds, and prevent the odd man rushes as well.
You've got to prevent the odd man rushes because Hedquist can light the lamp from any part of the ice. You don't want to give him an easy shot early, right in the slot. And, on the other side for St. Anthony's, same thing. Throw a lot of traffic in front. Don't make Chaminade comfortable. And if you can get a few, rely on your goalie Berhardt, you'll be in good shape.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. First for the visiting Flyers of Chaminade, who we saw before come in with an 11-1-2 record. Up front, you've got Brandon Ing, Steven Gergis, and the aforementioned Kieran Thompson, all juniors. Actually, throughout these 6 guys, it's Auger and Cuttaback on D, and Mike Manduca. He's backstopped both of Chaminade's previous wins over St. Anthony's, so he is in here again. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem. We'll return with the starting lineup for St. Anthony's and the opening faceoff right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks, know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Clark Gillies Arena in Dix Hills. Anthem has been played. The crowd excited. And let's take a look at the starting lineup now for the host Friars of St. Anthony's, an unchanged one. Listen, when it's going well, why change anything, right? You got DeAndrea, DeLugos, and Keita. Up front, Anthony Colavecchia and Damon Valenti, and Ryan Berhardt also. Both of these teams similar to with their netminders, right? You've got guys who are a 1 and a 1A. You're comfortable with either. But Berhardt has played really well down this last stretch of the regular season, so he'll get the nod here tonight for St. Anthony's head coach Bob Lund. In his 9th season, in 1989, graduate of St. Anthony's, a captain of that Friars side. On his opposing bench, a good friend, although not tonight, Ed Smith. In his 8th season, also a graduate of Chaminade in 1989. Here we go. Opening faceoff goes to Chaminade as the crowd continues to come in here to Dix Hills. Puck in the corner, and you can see the crowd finding its way through. And here comes the first opportunity for St. Anthony's. DeAndrea scores! First shot on net, and DeAndrea deposits it behind Manduka, and it's 1-0 St. Anthony's.
What did I tell you, Dylan? He's the most exciting player to watch, and if you don't get back on defense, he'll make you pay. Dangling, going up and down the ice off the turnover. What a statement for St. Anthony's. Listen, don't you think that they've been thinking about the 2 losses to Chaminade and how important it would be to get off to a fast start? I don't think that they thought it would be 22 seconds into the game, but Bob Lund will take it.
DeAndrea's 21st goal of the season. Man, you talk about making a statement on your first shift. You're right. What is that, 24 seconds in? And it is 1-0 for St. Anthony's.
The thing that's been so impressive with DeAndrea this year, too, is he's a guy that can really police the locker room and does a good job controlling everyone's tempo. And that's exactly what St. Anthony's is going to need going forward down the stretch. They need to have their cool heads, regardless if they are the number 1 or 2 seed come playoff time.
And here he comes again. DeAndrea dangles. Shot just trickled wide. I think that took a deflection. Another shot. Manduka pad save, puck in the corner. And this is where it's going to be important for both teams, winning those battles in the corners. Manduka sticks it aside behind his own net. St. Anthony's is buzzing early on. There's Keita. Keita to the corner, back out to the point, off of Colavecchio's stick, but a smart move there by Colavecchio as he fell, got it to his D-man partner, and he just dumps, and St. Anthony's changes. There is Thomas Colavecchio. Good to see him back. Missed the Farrell game with an injury, an upper body injury, so good to see him back here for this big showdown for first place.
Don't you love the specifics on injury reports in hockey?
Upper body and lower body. That's what you're going to get. And you might not even get that this time of season. And can guarantee you this, the upper bodies and the lower bodies, those are all different injuries.
Exactly.
St. Anthony's, a lot of O-zone time right now. The puck gets worked behind the net. That's Brady Monteleone. Centers it. Shot and a goal! Thomas Colavecchio. He makes it 2-0.
Colavecchio, just one of those leaders that can make a statement. I mean, what a fast start for St. Anthony's, too. Just if you keep throwing the puck in the corner, dump and chase, which St. Anthony has done specifically well, you fill the slot, nobody picks him up, and Colavecchio, easy pickings to beat Manduka.
So 2-0 for St. Anthony's. Thomas Colavecchio gets the goal. The assist to Brady Monteleone. Monteleone's 10th assist of the season. And for Colavecchio, his 11th goal. 2-0 early lead for St. Anthony's. And I don't know. I don't think I've even seen a Chaminade shot yet on that. They've barely had the puck, John.
No, have not had the puck yet. Good job out of the forwards. And you can see Chaminade now, remember, we did say they are playing with a couple men down and 2 defensemen, too. John Dunn, Mike Bonino, not saying that could have been a difference, but if you have those guys in there, obviously it doesn't make it as easy for DeAndrea, and a good job in the slot there as well. So Chaminade playing a little undermanned, but this is where you want your leaders to come in, dump and chase, or just get shots on net, go to those keys of the game. throw a lot of traffic in the direction of Berhart and try and get one back.
St. Anthony's looking to possess here. 2-0 lead. DeAndrea and Calavecchio with the goals. And St. Anthony's Jack Mancini crosses the blue line. Mancini, a wrist shot. Goes wide. Nick Alamea pinched in, trying to keep the puck in. You'll see an aggressive forecheck, and there's Gavin Cada stealing the puck, centering off of Manduca's pads. The puck is loose, and now the Flyers look to come the other way. That's Kieran Thompson. Great defensive play, taking the puck away. That pass deflected. Chaminade, though, continues to maintain possession. That might have been the first chance. That was Gerges. And now a little cycling of the puck, a little ozone time for Chaminade, really for the first time in this early goings of the first period. And as quick as they have the puck, it goes the other way. There goes DeLugos. And Manduca covers up.
A little better for Chaminade, that trip down. But St. Anthony's just does a good job in their defensive set of getting their Ds back and making it a little bit easier for Berhart because he's not getting screened. And that's what you're going to have to keep an eye on for Chaminade. Get a lot of guys in front of Berhart, screen him, see if you can beat him.
St. Anthony's wins the faceoff, works it behind the net. Monteleone. Valenti was unable to pinch and keep the puck in, but St. Anthony's got it back in the neutral zone, and it's all about dump and chase. We're not expecting, even though there's plenty of guys who can do it, John, you don't want those danglers. You don't want those guys to dangle as you enter the blue line. If you do, you might find yourself on the bench for the remainder of this game. It's about dump and chase. Opportunity, loose puck in front, backhands, blocked in front, still loose. Centering pass, deflected just wide. Chaminade buzzing right now. That was Federico, 19 in front, tried to get the puck. Here comes Monteleone the other way. 2 goals against Farrell on Monday night. Monteleone cycles, gets it to the point. Unable to keep it in, though, was Jablonski. Federico backhands it in as Chaminade looks to change. Jablonski works it to his fellow D-man. Puck behind the net. Flyers come away. Deflects to this near side boards, and this one is just cleared down, although this will be an icing, so it will be Chaminade puck deep in the Friars zone.
Starting to see Chaminade start to settle down, which is exactly what you would want out of a veteran squad. I mean, how many times this league season, Dylan, has somebody punch Chaminade in the mouth right away? This is a little bit of new territory, too, for the Flyers. It's easy from the outside to say, well, they're the number one team for a reason. How tested have they been this year? I'm sure they have been tested a good amount, but how many games are they down? Might be new territory for Chaminade, and I mean down early.
And honestly, not the worst thing, too, going into the postseason, right? To face a little adversity, which you haven't necessarily faced. Shot, that's a really good save. First look, really, in front, and Berhart was there to make the save.
And I'll tell you what, you could see why Ryan Berhart led St. Anthony's to a state title a year ago. Just thrown into the fire and really responded well. But he's so good at just making some of the point-blank saves. As Bob Lunt says, he's a highway robber, and that's exactly what you want out of your keeper.
Yeah, the state championship that you referenced, that was from St. Anthony's inclusion in the Suffolk County League. Of course, Chaminade played in the state championship in the Catholic League and lost a heartbreaker up in Buffalo. Looks like we're going to have, there was an offside, delayed offside, so the puck was cleared. Both teams look to change. Here's Thompson. He does dangle a little bit, gets it deep. 21, good to see Ryan Landolfi back in. Missed the last couple of weeks with a lower body. The naval-bound lacrosse standout. He is the captain of this team. Only 1C is the Chaminade tradition. And Landolfi, who was the first junior alternate captain a year ago, gets to don that this year.
And, of course, big skates to fill as well, Landolfi, but he's up for the challenge, and it's been fun to watch him progress throughout the years.
He was another one of those big question marks earlier in the week when we spoke with Ed Smith. Really didn't put the odds at too great, although he did say about Landolfi as that shot in by DeLugos, sticked aside. He's going to not play if I tell him not to play. Anything else, Landolfi will be on the ice. That's the kind of competitor that comes with the Landolfi. Wrist shot, another nice and easy save. Berhart saves the rebound as well.
And I like that by Conlon, too. He got the open shot from the slot. Good save by Berhart, but Chaminade not really getting a lot of traffic in front either, which is kind of what you want. Like, I know that we talked about Chaminade not wanting to dangle and hold on to the puck and pass, be efficient, dump and chase, but I'll take those shots. This is where you need your non-puck handlers to get in front of Berhart and screen them.
After that early flurry by St. Anthony's, Chaminade getting more of the puck right now and creating some opportunities. Here comes DeAndrea, one of the goal scorers, the first goal scorer. Gets hit, a delayed offside. Chaminade gets a free clearance, and they will dump it deep. Battle in the corner, that's Frank Petrone, the junior. Not the biggest, but he's a smart player, a compliant kid, and that's one of the words of the week for Ed Smith. That's one of those corporate words, right? Compliancy. Here's an opportunity. And another goal for St. Anthony's. The backhand. It's another from Thomas Calavecchio. And it's 3-0 for St. Anthony's.
St. Anthony's going north and south. And I'll tell you what, that was a white-collar goal, just going all the way down the ice with precision, beating Manduca, as we'll take another look at it. Good job by Monteleone. Sees his man. Good backhand. Calavecchio. Precisional. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't such bad defense from Di Domenico either.
Calavecchio goes top shelf with a backhand. His second, another assist as well, coming from Monteleone. 3-0 St. Anthony. Still 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first. Friars hunting for more. Now, if we've learned anything from previous meetings between these two teams, is that you've got to continue to push for more goals. 4-1 was the lead in that first matchup for Chaminade, and the Friars battled back, and they needed a late goal to get that 7-5 win. Wrist shot comes from Will Auger. That's knocked away. Physicality, Auger from the blue line, puts it in front, takes a deflection. That's Logan Schaefer getting a puck on net. And another easy save, or nice and easy, at least I should say, from Berhart. Doesn't give up a lot of rebounds, doesn't do anything flashy, just does his job.
Bob Lund is spoiled with the two keepers he has this year, specifically Berhart, the number one keeper. Thomas Olmschneider, when he plays in those public school league games, also very efficient as well. But Berhart just exceptional last year. You know, he was named to Suffolk County All-Star game in that public league, and I know that we could talk. I feel like we're tooting the horn of the public league, but it just goes to show how deep St. Anthony's is this year. As a goal by Chaminade from the side. That was Heckquist, and boy, did the Flyers need that. Sorry for stepping on you, Dylan.
No, not at all. Yes, a huge goal for Chaminade, and generally when you need a big goal, it's one of your leaders, and it looks to be Landolfi. Here's another look. Watch 21. Did he get a piece?
I think he did. He celebrated like he did. It might just be a huge sigh of relief, too. We'll wait for.
He was the first one to the bench, and
right.
Generally the rule of thumb, right, is the first one to the bench. You see the conversation now at the bench.
If we could slow that down, now remember, it needs to be a distinct kicking motion for it to get wiped off the board, and I'm not sure if that's what the officials are telling Smith right now. And keep an eye on 22 in front of 21, excuse me.
Watch his skate right there. I think that's look, we don't have replay. They're not going to Toronto here.
Right.
or I guess if they should go anywhere, it's to Plainview and Varsity Media headquarters, right? But
Yeah.
To me, that's a kicking motion, and that should not be a goal.
That's what I think they're saying now. And if you're reading body language, Landolfi looks dejected.
And you're working, and the teams are going for a face-off back in the St. Anthony zone. So wipe that goal off. Great call by you, John. You saw it right away. And great vantage point from our camera behind the net. You could see the kicking motion by Landolfi. No goal for Chaminade.
That's a tough break. And for Berhart, you take a sigh of relief, too. The one reverse for Chaminade is like, all right, we beat them once. We've got to get back in this game anyway.
Wrist shot, sticked away.
That was Conlon with the wrister.
Let's see what that non-goal does to both teams. Landolfi, big body, really good on the boards. Federico gets it back to the point, takes a deflection, and here comes St. Anthony's. Wrist shot and a save. Landolfi tries to control the puck behind the net. And here come the Flyers the other way. Look at this opportunity. Through a screen, shot by Patron. It had eyes, and here comes St. Anthony's again. The aggressive forecheck makes it really easy for you to break out of your own zone. Milan just wristed it down, and that'll be an icing on St. Anthony's.
And that's what you want to see. You want to start to see the traffic and start to build. And you know what? If this is a Chaminade team that plays with the chip on its shoulder, that non-goal could inspire them and get a little chippy there and start to get their gears going.
Won by the Flyers. In front! Another save. Shot was by Gergis. And the puck dumped back in for the Flyers. Backhanded in front. Puck deflects into the corner. And it's won there by St. Anthony's. Reversal, trying to get it out of the zone. They do just that, but it's picked up there by Lucas Lee. He's another guy, too, who has battled injuries. A really good two-way defenseman is Lucas Lee. He'll be a big part of the Flyers not only tonight, but also in the postseason as well.
And Smith was really lauding his hockey IQ, too. I mean, he says they're all smart kids. They go to Chaminade, but one of the highest IQs on the ice.
Puck worked behind the St. Anthony's net. It's won there by Dulugos. Just pushes it up the sideboards. Dulugos finishes his check. We've seen physicality early on. Oh, and the puck deflects off a D-man and has to be covered up there well by Berhart. But we've seen physicality, John, but it's been clean throughout the first, 13 and a half minutes of this game.
Right, and if there's anybody who has shown by the example, or at least for St. Anthony's, you see that an automatic DQ could get you 3 games regardless of what it is. And you've got the most important time of the year coming up, playoffs. You want to play smart. And you know what? I know that emotions can run high, but you get a victory against your rival, you'll never forget that.
Yeah, it's a real tough balance, I think, for the coaches of both teams here. You want your team, as we said, right, play with controlled emotions, but also what does this mean, right? I mean, it's always important when it's Chaminade and St. Anthony's, regardless of where you are in the season. You've got first place and home ice throughout the postseason. That's a big thing to play for, but it is far from, as an interception and a wrist shot. Good opportunity there for St. Anthony's. Griziak with the steal. But as we'll show you later in this game, later in our broadcast, there's been a lot bigger games on the ice for a lot of postseason history between these two teams. And that's when it's the biggest games to play. And you know what? Top 2 teams this year, again, a lot of people are thinking you might see another rematch in the championship series, and how great would that be? A 2 out of 3 between Chaminade and St. Anthony's to determine the league championship. But we have a lot of hockey to go here tonight and going forward. Here's our first penalty is going to be called. Delayed penalty against St. Anthony's. It was in the neutral zone, so the Flyers will have the man advantage when there's a stoppage in play, as we have now. So 1:03 left. Neutral zone penalty against St. Anthony's. It will be a hook. And going into the box is Nick Alamea. So first power play for either team.
Boy, what a momentum shift it would be for the Flyers if they could get a goal before the first intermission.
This is where you miss a guy like Bonino the most, probably. Slap shot from the top. And a save there. It went right through. It was a good-looking shot at that, but Mike Conlon's shot was also an unscreened one, so nice, simple save there by Berhardt. Flyers win the faceoff. Shot deflects behind the net. We're inside the final minute of this first period, a period certainly on the score sheet dominated by St. Anthony's. It's a penalty that, should the Flyers not score in these final 30 seconds, will carry over to the second frame. Hedquist and now Landolfi unable to control. And as we said before, St. Anthony's has traditionally, under Bob Lund, been a really, really aggressive forechecking team when they are shorthanded. Inside the final 10 seconds. A little dangle, a shot, another save, and that was Hedquist with the shot. There's the clearance and the end of a first period that, if you are a fan of St. Anthony's, you loved what you saw. 2 goals, quick, for the Friars, and another one as well with 5:55 left in the opening frame. First period in the books. It is St. Anthony's leading Chaminade 3-0. You're watching this Catholic Hockey League showdown presented by Maspeth Federal Savings Bank on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championship.
Welcome back to Clark Gillies Arena. Dylan Butler, John Perez here with you ice side as the rivalry is renewed between Chaminade and St. Anthony's. The Friars, they drew first blood and more, a 3-0 lead after the first period. Flyers trying to get one back here on a power play. Opportunity there from Conlon, and the puck is cleared. Again, 22 seconds left on the man advantage.
Haven't seen the Flyers get the puck to Hedquist during this man advantage. 15 seconds to go on the man up, so see if they go that direction. Conlon's taking a couple of shots, but not screened.
And here comes Hetty with a head of steam as well. Wrist shot blocked. And the puck cleared again, so Chaminade will not capitalize on their first power play opportunity. Valenti gets it deep, and St. Anthony's will go for a change. Hedquist tried to lunge out to get a piece of that, but instead unable to get it, so it'll be a icing against Chaminade. Goal scorers in the first period went right away, man. 24 seconds in, it was Nick DeAndrea getting the goal, assisted by Jack Mancini. Face off in front, puck is loose for a moment. DeAndrea had a piece. DeLugos looking for it now. And then Thomas Colavecchio had a pair of goals as well. Brady Monteleone a couple of assists. And that is your lead right now, 3-0 for the Friars. If St. Anthony's manages to win this game, they'll end up tied on points with Chaminade, but you go to the wins tiebreaker, and this would be St. Anthony's 12th win of the year. Chaminade has 11, and as a result, they would finish first in the regular season.
Oh, Dylan, what do they always say? The 3-goal lead is always the most dangerous, and you have to look no further than an earlier matchup this year. Chaminade had a 3-goal lead.
You hear that.
St. Anthony's.
You hear that a lot, John, but I think you prefer the 3-goal lead than the 3-goal deficit.
That's what I've always said. Thank you. I'd rather be up 3-0. Same thing in soccer, right?
Yeah.
You don't want 2 goals? You don't want 3 goals?
I'd rather deal with having to manage the lead than try to chase it from behind. Lucas Lee dumps it deep, chases himself, and here comes DeAndrea. Got it going early for the Friars. Stick handles, sends it in behind the net. Battle for the puck there. It's won by the Flyers. St. Anthony's gets it right back. Here's DeLugos. Similar to Landolfi, right? The big-bodied captain. He's stood up the blue line, but it's won by St. Anthony's. Shot from the point, and the rebound is potted in. DeLugos with the goal, and the lead is extended to 4-0.
This is where you got to try and control the rebounds if you can. DeLugos will be right on top of it. We saw him against Fordham Prep do the same thing. He's got a knack for always being around the net and burying the puck. And there's DeLugos on the rebound. Good shot from the point as well, as that was Anthony Colavecchio. He'll get an assist on that.
You don't want to give up that juicy rebound, and that's exactly what happened there. And DeLugos, man, he was like, he saw the steak, right? And he just pounced. A big, greasy goal for DeLugos, his 9th of the season, and it's 4-0 for the Friars.
So DeLugos, rightfully so, will get the credit and the celebration on that goal. But how about the job by Anthony Colavecchio, too, taking the shot? But what a year it's been for him as well. Remember, he missed significant time due to a broken collarbone last year, worked himself to get back into shape, and has been an integral part to the Friars' success this year.
Yeah, 2 collarbone injuries last year as well. So it's huge for Bob London, his guys, to have him back, and you get production from both twin brothers. One, Colavecchio, scoring a couple of goals, and the other doing well as well. Goalie change for Chaminade. It's Patrick Conway in the net now. Makes the save. Rebound potted loose, but it's cleared. And now it's a foot race to it. Someone lost a mouth guard. And here's Landolfi. So Manduka exits after the first period, and Conway is in. Now, the advantage you'd say if you are a Chaminade fan is that Conway, for a second straight year, is undefeated during the regular season. That shot blocked. Oh, what a pass! And the finish in front as well. Thompson gets the goal, and Chaminade pulls one back.
There's that Conway magic, the former MVP of the JV squad, Kieran Thompson, burying it. Berhardt doesn't make a lot of mistakes. This time not able to corral the rebounds, and Chaminade, they needed one back in the worst way. Good centering pass. I don't believe that was a rebound. We can take another look at that in a second, but I don't believe that was a rebound. Either way, Chaminade needed that goal to go back down.
I think that was from Gerges as well. What an incredible pass. Here's Keita trying to gain entrance into the zone. A huge goal for Chaminade. There is no doubt about it. And the Flyers would love to add on to that. Thompson's 17th goal of the year. Our players to watch are living up to their billing, that is for sure. Here's DeLugos. Wristed in over Conway. The puck takes a big bounce off that end boards.
Like a ball.
Yeah, like a ball, yes. Landolfi unable to get in the zone. DeLugos from the blue line, just centers it in front. Now the Flyers look to clear. It was a 4-0 lead, as it was actually against Farrell on Monday. A huge hit right in front of us as well. Joe Lentini, a clean hit as well.
Lentini, just the guy that's tough as nails, not afraid to lay the lumber as we just saw.
Another save, big rebound pops up, and Lee's able to control and knock it away. That's another big rebound we've seen Conway give up. It's a 1-on-2 battle in the corner, and the Flyers will come away. Puck just cleared down, no icing. And that's a big hit as well. And that's going to be a penalty and a little extracurriculars as well between these rivals. And what's going to be interesting here is to see what type of a penalty will be given here against Thompson.
Could make the case for boarding or roughing. Thompson knew it right away.
It'll be a roughing penalty against Thompson. So first power play opportunity for St. Anthony's. Chaminade is 0 for 1 on the man advantage.
Tough penalty to take in that. So it's going to be a tough penalty to take for Chaminade so much as they're down 3 goals anyway. And you know that the Friars have one of the top penalty units on the ice, or power play units on the ice. And now Landolfi getting an explanation as well from the head official. So is Nick DeAndrea and Jack DeLugos.
By the correction earlier, it was Conlon with the assist, that terrific assist on the Flyers' goal. So 24 from 23. And it was Anthony Colavecchio with that shot from the point. I like, too, here what the officials are doing. You know, that was the first sort of scrum between the two teams, and obviously things could potentially get out of hand. And you had conversations with both benches, with leaders of both teams, just to try to calm things down from this point going forward.
Yeah, I think that's a good veteran official move. Of course, these referees never want to be part of the game. They never want to have an impact on it either. So you speak to both captains. You tell your guys, all right, that's it. You got it out of your system. Let's play clean hockey the rest of the way.
First power play for the Friars. They cashed in a couple times against Farrell on Monday night.
Keep an eye on number 89 in white, Gavin Keita. He's a guy that's not afraid to go where guys his size are.
DeLugos, a wrister. And it deflected out of bounds, or out of the rink, I should say, and it'll be a face-off to Conway's right. The mantra for St. Anthony's the last couple of games in the locker room at the Ice Hutch and also here. And here's a 2-on-1 short-handed opportunity for the Flyers. Backhand pass. That's a shot, and it looks like the opportunity by Gerges. I'm not sure if Berhardt got a piece or it might have went pipe. And now, look at this. Aggressive on the shorthand. Another chance for the Flyers. They're buzzing. You got to be careful, though, here. 2 Flyers go down. No penalty is called. And now DeLugos chases it down. Puck knocked away momentarily there by Auger. Monteleone looking for the puck. Here comes Colavecchio, 2 goals. Looking for the Hattie, maybe. Colavecchio deflected off the backboards and cleared into the St. Anthony's bench.
Well, how fitting would it be for a number 91 on Long Island, Clark Gillies Arena, score a hat trick? Well, then, did I upset some Islander fans out there?
I think so. I don't think. I don't think. I think those jerseys go to the backyard barbecue a little bit, or in the fire pit this time of year. You want to stay warm. Valenti was pinching from the point. Puck deflects. There's a shot, and Conway makes the save. As there's 27 seconds, you see at the top left of your screen, left on the Friars power play. But I was saying before, was the mantra for the last couple of games for Bob Lund is make Friday count, make it matter. And St. Anthony's has done a great job. It wasn't the cleanest game against Iona, but they found a way to win, and they found a way to win against Monsignor Farrell. And Friday does indeed matter. Centering pass off of Conway and cleared. There's Valenti. He goes to his D partner. He gets it right back. Inside the final 10 seconds of this man advantage. Valenti dumps and chases his own puck. We are even. Valenti lost control of the puck behind the net, and now the Flyers look to go the other way.
Good job by the special teams with the Friars breathing down their neck. Chaminade actually looked a little bit more in control over the final minute of that man disadvantage.
It is I want to say, what is that, 6-man scrum, 4-man scrum in the corner.
7.
St. Anthony's comes away with the puck. Rister pushed aside well by Conway. St. Anthony's nearly a bad change there, maybe almost too many men on. There's a hit from behind. We'll have it, or there was icing actually. Thought there was a penalty, but instead it's going to be icing, so it'll be Chaminade with the face-off deep in St. Anthony's zone. It is packed in Clark Gillies Arena. Listen, you were here before I did. I was here an hour before. I was circling a little bit trying to find a parking spot. They were hard to find here tonight, and the crowd has just gotten bigger and bigger as this game has gone on. Look at this, a breakaway. Oh, top shelf, missing the mark. Rebound in front, and the net is off the moorings. What a chance there for DeAndrea.
That might be the save of the night for Chaminade if they come back in this contest. I mean, that's looking at the eyes of the beast, Nick DeAndrea. So lethal, and Conway doing a good job not making it easy, closing the window, and very fortunate that the goal came ajar.
Question I have is, how does DeAndrea, with obviously being the focal point of the scouting report, find that freedom and the opportunity there? Just got in behind the Chaminade D and had an awesome opportunity for another goal. DeLugos backhands it back in. DeAndrea chases behind the net. Flyers unable to control in the neutral zone. DeLugos. That's a big hit by James Hecht. And another big hit at the other D-line by Jablonski. And Kada got a piece of a red jersey as well. Somehow, especially in high school hockey, those become contagious. Once a big hit is made, once you get the reaction from the crowd as the puck deflects out into the St. Anthony's bench.
Well, the hockey players, they love hitting each other, number one, and then you're right, it's contagious. The crowd is buzzing, you're amped up for your teammate, and there's Jablonski just laying the lumber on DeFrucio.
My hockey career, John Perez, wasn't the longest. I played in the Long Island City YMCA Roller Hockey League for Queen of Angels in Sunnyside. But as a former D-man, when the nerves were the greatest, I always said, I want to be on my first shift. I have to get physical right away.
Yep.
And it takes the nerves out. Even if I got hit, it didn't matter. Just that it gets you into the game. And obviously, when you've got a team that you don't quite like on the other side, I think there's more opportunity for some physicality as well.
Well, and you know what? I bet you the same could be said for Nick DeAndrea, too, who's probably thinking, I'm going to have a big game myself if I could put one in the net or have a good early shift. That'll kind of settle me down. In reverse, that's kind of what happened to Mike Manduka, too. Started to play a little bit better once he got a couple of saves, but not the best start for him.
Wrist shot deflected behind. That was Thomas Calavecchio. 2 goals. Centering opportunity deflected. Battle here near boards. Calavecchio to his knees. And here comes a 3-on-1 for the Flyers. Centering chance. Extra pass, and they don't get anything out of it. Hecht unable to get a piece of the puck. That shot rebounds and didn't get its way through. Gerges actually with the chance.
That's where I wanted Brandon Ing to take the shot, not pass it up, and unfortunately didn't bode out well for the Flyers.
Nealon just clears, and St. Anthony's will ice the puck. First 2 meetings of the year between these two teams went the way of the Flyers. Opening night in the Catholic Hockey League, and it was a 7-5 win for Chaminade, and Hedquist with the hat trick in that one. And a month later, out at Cantiag, Mike Manduka, 19 saves, Hedquist a goal and an assist in a 3-0 win for the Flyers.
But that was then, this is now, and this is a completely different St. Anthony's team that is now healthy. They're clicking on all cylinder. They've got their legs underneath them, and you could see it through the first period and almost 2:40 left in the second period.
And on the reverse of that, you could say that's not the case with Chaminade. Not that they're playing bad, but the injury bug has hit them really at the worst time of the year.
Right.
Puck behind the net. There's DeLugos. Conway down to his pads, and there's another penalty here. A delayed one against Chaminade. Manduka gets to his net for the extra skater. Valenti tapping his stick at the point, hoping to get the puck. He will not, but a stripping penalty is called. A little conversation between Auger and Kada.
Well, this is where Chaminade has to keep their heads cool. A tough penalty called against Mike Cutterback. And you know what? A good job by Kada kind of restraining himself. This is where you just don't want to have any extra penalties or anything that can hurt you past today.
So St. Anthony's 4-1 lead. 2 minutes, 2:09 left. Centering pass. Oh, there it is! The power play goal given to Brady Monteleone. They only needed 7 seconds of the power play. And it is a 5-1 lead for the Friars.
You know, it's not how you start this season, it's how you finish. What a statement month it's been for the Friars. As we take another look at it, just a nice little tap. Monteleone, too easy. And that's a very happy Friar supporter section.
So Monteleone goes top shelf, scores the goal, the power play goal as well. And it is a 5-1 lead. For St. Anthony's. Inside the final 2 minutes of the second period. Big hit by Gergis. But here comes St. Anthony's. Oh, is that another penalty?
Yeah, Gresiak taken down from behind, and now the frustration's mounting for both sides. It's been a tough night for Chaminade.
Yeah, they've got Grisiak down, still down on the ice, and that was the response there by the Friars. There was no initial penalty given.
Looks like we're going to have two players in the sit-in. Yeah,
offsetting penalties here. And that was on that scrum that happened right after. So we will skate 5-a-side here in the final 132 of this second period.
Well, if you're St. Anthony's, you have to be very pleased at where you're at. Not only do you have the lead, it's late in the second period, but you've rattled the Chaminade team that has had your number all year. This is not the compliant, disciplined Chaminade team that Smith was talking about that has had success in the past. Not to say that this game is over, but you have to be pretty happy if you're the Friars right now and keep the cool heads the rest of the way.
Face-off one, St. Anthony's. Chance goes in front and is cleared, and the Flyers look to get the other way. Again, offsetting penalty, so we skate 5-a-side. Jablonski behind his own net. Flyers come away. Centering pass, back to the point. Slap shot there. Nice save by Auger. And here comes Monteleone. Scored the power play goal to make it 5-1. As we have a minute left in the second period, Monteleone turned, was hit by Landolfi, and the two renew their acquaintances. They ask each other, what are your plans for dinner? How's classes going?
AP Bio's tough, and Monteleone's going to have to think it over, yeah.
So honestly, that's one of those two where it'll be a misconduct penalty on Monteleone. And it's close to the vest, right? For the refs, it seems like. They're not even letting any conversations be had, it seems like.
Well, yeah.
That's what Bob Lund, the Friars head coach, he wants an explanation here. Why is my guy, he's saying, in the box when both players, right, were jawing a little bit?
Unless Monteleone said the magic words, I'm with you, Dylan. I don't know why it's a one-sided penalty, and Chaminade will have the man advantage here.
And on top of that, it hasn't been changed on the scoreboard, and I think, based on that being a misconduct, that's a 10-minute misconduct against Monteleone. So there's 57 seconds. He's going to miss a good chunk, certainly, of the third period as well.
Now the official speaking over at the Chaminade side, too, and Ed Smith getting an explanation.
I guess you're doing a good job as a ref when neither coach is too happy. We saw Ed Smith not happy there. And I think, honestly, what he's probably not happy about is why don't we have a power play here, right?
Right.
Like, you take him off the ice for 10 minutes, but it doesn't do us any good. We can't get an extra man on the ice.
Right.
Inside the final minute, can Chaminade get one more goal back and make things interesting going into the third period? Valenti behind his own net, pumps the brakes, reverses course, and gets it up these near boards. Clears the zone. inside the final 30 seconds. Auger goes the other way. 11 seconds left. Thompson. Gerges goes back to Thompson. Physicality behind the net. The second period ends with another scrum. We'll see Thompson involved there again. It's like Jablonski, or perhaps, no, Keita. No surprise, I think Keita is involved.
Well, Keita was talking earlier as well. One thing, though, I think that'll benefit both sides and their heads is that they're going to cut the ice now, so both teams can kind of calm down, and they don't get that 2-minute intermission. So they've got, 5-10 minutes to kind of relax. Bob Lund, I'm sure, will give a stern talking to, as will Smith. And tell the guys, hey, we're 15 minutes away from winning the regular season, clinching the number 1 seed. Don't do anything that will hurt those hurt our team's chances in the playoffs.
We'll go to break here from Clark Gillies Arena. 2 periods in the books, and it is St. Anthony's with a 5-1 lead over Chaminade. You're watching this Catholic high school hockey game presented by Maspeth Federal Savings Bank on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Gene Sterator, CBS Rules Analyst and longtime sports official. For the adults watching this video, you grew up in a world where officials, umpires, and referees for youth sports took their place regularly and reliably ahead of game time. Today, unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder to fill those jobs. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media. And there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Massive shortages of officials now lead to games being canceled, and the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. I'm hoping we all can begin to see youth competition through a different lens. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule.
Any call, any decision, any human effect on wins and losses has become subject to not just withering criticism, but physical threats. There's a vicious cycle at work. Fans chase away officials, and there is a smaller pool to draw from, which makes it harder to get quality, well-trained people in position. The entire game suffers.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines? This sort of verbal abuse and threatening behavior takes a toll on all officials and makes them leave the game altogether.
Did you know, from 2018 to 2022, an estimated 50,000 high school referees, roughly 20%, have quit. Half of the remaining referee population is at least 50 years old, but young officials are rarely staying more than 3 years in the job.
If the number of officials working contests in all sports doesn't begin to increase, there won't be enough officials to work the games. That means schedules will get cut, teams or even sports might get canceled. In many states, this is already happening.
Remember that officials are invested in what they do. Many officials have regular, full-time jobs, and they're sacrificing time away from their families. Try to demonstrate empathy. Put yourself in their position. Think how you would feel about getting yelled at throughout your workday.
Yelling and arguing with officials sends the wrong message to young players. According to Play by the Rules sports advocacy, it teaches them that it's not okay to make a mistake. They can blame others for their actions. They can disrespect authority figures. And it's okay to be rude and selfish.
You know, officials enforce rules, keep competitions fair, and make player safety a priority, allowing youth sports to be a valuable arena for growth. If we can all just work together and be more empathetic to not just the officials, but everyone else in youth and high school sports, we can then preserve what many of us have embraced about athletics. And you and I know the benefits of sports, right? Let's spread that gratitude and be proud of what we can build and not blind to how it's being torn down. Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
So what happens now? Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control, and we have an experiment for you to try. Simply stated, just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Your child's sporting memory should be about how you helped inspire and not about how you caused embarrassment.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Maspeth Federal Savings is here through it all. The ins and outs, the ups and downs. Through the winters, the summers, and even the spring of leaks. Know that Maspeth has your back. From luxury sheets to balance sheets to dancing under the stars, your mission is our mission. And when our community calls, we proudly step forward. So whether you need it now or planning for tomorrow, through all the twists and all the turns, you can always find us right here in your neighborhood.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look!
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Clark Gillies Arena. Here it's the second intermission, and it's the Friars with a 5-1 lead over Chaminade. Dylan Butler, John Perez here with you. And how did we get to this 5-1 lead? Well, it was a dominant first period for St. Anthony's, and it started right away with Nick D'Andrea. 22 seconds in, John Perez scores the goal to give St. Anthony's the 1-0 lead.
Making a statement right away. This is a St. Anthony's team that had been waiting all season for this game, had been waiting all week to make this game count, and Nick D'Andrea doing so on that first goal.
Jack Mancini with the assist there. So it's 1-0, and Thomas Calavecchio right there in the slot gets the first of two, the assist to Brady Monteleone, as well as Kyle Jablonski.
That's been a fun connection, Monteleone to Del Vecchio, and Del Vecchio doing a fantastic job of just getting in front of the net, chasing his defenders as well, and getting some open shots.
And then with 9:05 left in the first frame, there's Monteleone again, finding Calavecchio, goes backhand, top shelf, and that made it 3-0. A secondary assist for that goal also went to Gerald Nealon.
Top shelf, right where mom hides the cookies. A good job, and I thought that Manduca did a good job of closing down the window, but that shot just happened to find the few inches of daylight to beat him.
So Manduca left the game after the first, replaced by Pat Conroy. In the second period, it was the Friars again, but first, Chaminade thought they had a goal back, but you see a great there, the kicking motion by Landolfi, so that goal was negated.
Yeah, you're on the Chaminade bench, you're thinking, okay, we've got one back. Now it's a 3-1 contest. A couple more goals with the rest of the remaining first period, second and third period. You're in good shape, but turned out to be a momentum killer for the Flyers, and St. Anthony's took advantage.
So not only do you not get a goal there for Chaminade, then you give up the next goal, and you see again the work behind the net. Puck out to the point, shot. There's the rebound, and there's the goal. Actually, that was still Manduca there. Mm-hmm. So Manduca left after that goal. That one was scored in front by DeLugos, your captain of the Friars, and that extended lead to 4-0.
Yeah, DeLugos just making an imprint all over this game and doing a fantastic job. And Chaminade finally getting one back here in Thompson, of course, the MVP on the JV squad. That's what Chaminade needed, but defense just not holding up, as you'll see on the next couple plays.
Mike Conlon had the assist there, and that was 4-1, and then it was extended to 5-1 here. A power play goal. You see D'Andrea in front of the net, trying to set the screen. Look at that great backdoor pass, and St. Anthony's Monteleone with the goal, and he makes it 5-1 for the Friars.
You know, and what we saw in that last goal, too, Matt DiDomenico so focused on D'Andrea shading his goalie that kind of left the forward open for the open shot, as St. Anthony's was able to bury it as they lead it 5-1.
This is a huge regular season game, maybe the biggest regular season game ever between these two teams, because it comes on the last day of the regular season with first place on the line, but not by any stretch of the imagination the biggest game ever between these two teams. Look at this incredible playoff history, John Perez, between these two teams. See, last year, that was the only game where it was not a series. It was a one-off game. Chaminade won that one 5-2. They beat Iona then to win the league championship before losing in heartbreaking fashion up in Buffalo in the state championship. But before that, these are all series scores. So St. Anthony's, the 2013 finals. They won again in the semifinals a year later. Chaminade got a little revenge there in 14-15, sweeping St. Anthony's. And then it's been a lot of St. Anthony's since, a lot of sweeps as well in 15-16, 16-17, and 17-18. Chaminade won in a third game to win the finals in 2019 and 20. Semifinals a year ago, and we expect, again, if you kind of look, you prognosticate a little bit and look at the top teams. Look, these are clearly the top two teams in the Catholic Hockey League.
Indubitably, and correct me if my math is wrong here, but this St. Anthony's team has never beaten Chaminade in the playoffs. If we're going back to their last win, of course, in that 17-18 season, they know what's on the line. They know that in order to achieve greatness in the Catholic League, you have to go through Chaminade, whether it's in the semis or the final. And they want to make their mark, especially after dropping the first two games this year. I'm sure they've been sitting on it over the last few months, and they have certainly delivered in bunches.
So third period coming up in a matter of moments. We'll show you the standings again to show you what these final 15 minutes of the regular season mean. Again, Chaminade has been that most consistent team all year. They had a pretty sizable lead in the standings. They tied Farrell, though, a week ago, and that tie opened the door for St. Anthony's because they needed every point possible to have a chance to finish first. St. Anthony's then went out and they beat Iona on the road. They came here on Monday. They defeated Monsignor Farrell, which set this winner-take-all game. If Chaminade even ties, if they rally to tie, the Flyers end up first. If they end up with St. Anthony's winning, they will be even on points. You get 2 points for a win, but the wins tiebreaker will put the Flyers ahead of Chaminade into first place.
I'm sure they don't want to go down into the crunching the numbers. I'm sure just a simple win and they're in mentality is going. And you know what? You don't really see in between periods, Dylan, the ice being cut. I'm sure that's going to bode well for St. Anthony's and Chaminade to kind of calm themselves down, focus on the next 15 minutes, and try and get back into this game. If you're Chaminade and if you're St. Anthony's, put them away.
Yeah, it was a chippy final 5 or so minutes, right, of that second period. So you wonder if the trip back to the locker room maybe cools that a little bit. Obviously, it's hard to say that with a capacity crowd here at Clark Gillies Arena with red on one side and the white on the other side. The Lugos wrist shot. The flex. Puck goes behind the net. There is Landolfi. He wins it for Chaminade, and I think probably part of the message by Ed Smith in the locker room after the second period was with an eye towards the playoffs, right? Let's be competitive here, and who knows, right? Crazier things have happened. Here comes Hedquist. Wrist shot, and again, right into the breadbasket, and you love it there by Berhart making that save.
And it's probably just slow the game down. Let's play our game. Chaminade not playing their vintage dump and chase or north and south as a good save by Berhart and gobbling it up.
And no rebounds
right.
as well. Face-off won by St. Anthony's. Puck behind. And one thing to note, carrying over from that second period, we're not going to see Brady Monteleone for quite some time. Picked up that 10-minute misconduct penalty late stages of the second period. Conway. Push that puck aside, and icing is called on Chaminade. Patrick Conway, the senior. Menduka, the junior. Different goalies, right? Menduka, bigger. Conway, a smaller sized, but he's a tenacious gamer. And again, he went undefeated in the regular season a year ago. 6-0-1 this year in the regular season as well. So the Flyers play well in front of him.
Yeah, and he's played well so far. Only gave up the one goal, and it's tough to come in cold, number one, and then down against a very confident and buzzing St. Anthony's team, but he's held his own.
Nealon sent to the ice. A physical check there in the corner as Conlon looks to try to clear. Puck sent in outside the blue line. Dump and chase is really the mantra for both of these teams. Not just tonight, but throughout the year. Colavecchia, 2 goals on the night. Gets the puck right back. Stick handles out of trouble. Still has it. Hands off. DeAndrea back to Colavecchio, and that close to a hat trick. Jablonski offside for the Flyers as the puck deflected in off of Hecht.
Yeah, that last chance so close as Colavecchio looking for the hat trick, just whistling wide. A good job out of the keeper Conway, shutting down the window.
Unlike NHL rinks, John Perez, I don't think there's an opportunity to actually get a hat onto the ice should you get a hat trick in this game. I mean, you got to work really hard to do so. There's netting all around, as you see. Like, it's got to be the perfect toss of the cap, I guess. DeLugos chases one down in the corner. It's won by the Flyers. They look to break out the opposite side.
It'd be great to see everyone just throw their hats in the lobby.
Federico. Landolfi now in the corner.
Kind of serenade them when they come out of the locker room.
DeAndrea stood up at the blue line. Good check there by Logan Schaefer. A D-man who maybe was getting additional time here tonight with Michael Bonino and John Dunn out. Our condolences, by the way, to John Dunn for the loss of his grandmother. As Conway covers up. We'll have a face-off to his left.
St. Anthony's doing a good job starting off this third period with control. Guess that's Landolfi just getting his mouthpiece off the ice. Hope that's sanitized before he...
Well, but it's also on the ice, right? So
you would just throw your mouthpiece on.
I don't say you throw it on the ice to it ends up there. Odd man, look at it, 4-on-2 opportunity. Wrist shot, deflects wide. That was by Gerges. You very rarely see a 4-on-2 opportunity. Battle in the corner. Cycled back the other way. Vince Sapuli kicks it out of his own zone. Chaminade, though, maintains control. Centering chance, and we'll have a penalty here on St. Anthony's. It'll be a trip on Vince Sapuli.
Well, still a lot of time left in this contest. A chance for Chaminade to get one back. Then they're, get the lead back down to 3. Or the St. Anthony's lead dwindles to 3. This is where you want to get your snipers the puck. Heckwist or Landolfi, this is where you want to have them taking their shots.
Second power play opportunity for the Flyers. They were unable to capitalize on their first. And look at this, DeLugos steals the puck at the blue line. Just throws it behind the net as Lucas Lee now looks to push the puck forward. Good job standing up Anthony Colavecchio, sending it back down the ice. Auger backhands it. Landolfi lost control. DeAndrea picked his pocket.
Boy, the special teams for St. Anthony's just so efficient today, doing a good job of closing down the lanes, not making it easy for the Flyers.
They're just uber aggressive, right? Like, you don't have a moment to work your way up, right? Like, because they're meeting you at the blue line.
You see DeLugos just all over the puck handler, Federico. Not making it easy for him.
And Federico had to angle his way inside the blue line. Keeping it in there was Auger inside the final minute of this Chaminade power play. Pushed back out to the point. Auger there. Goes to his fellow point man. A little dangle and a wrist shot. Low shot was saved, and the puck is cleared. That shot by Hedquist. And there he is on the puck. It's been a quiet night for the kid they call Hetty. DeLugos just wristed it down the ice as St. Anthony's looks to change up. Nealon creating havoc. Here comes Hedquist. 14 seconds left. Hedquist tries to dangle his way in. Lost control of the puck. And again, an efficient PK for St. Anthony's. And they're able to kill it off.
Well,
when you're chasing the game. Sorry, John. When you're chasing the game, look at this. A little dangle and a big hip check as well.
I think Colavecchio got a stick in there as well, pitchforking it away. But, yeah, good job by St. Anthony's defense just swarming the Flyers tonight.
We go the other way. Cada gets the blue line. Cada, backhanded opportunity in front, taken away by Auger.
Not sure if he tried to shuffle it over to Nealon, who was trailing on the other side of the lane, as Cada takes a shot. It's gobbled up by Conway. But Cada just always pushing the agenda, and
he's
some
just
words afterwards, too.
And you hear, too, from his head coach, right? Cada, because of his size, man, he just gets in your face. He's just kind of annoying if you're on the other side. If he's on your team, you'll love it.
Yep.
Face-off one. Auger goes up the near boards. Jablonski unable to keep it in, but does control the puck and just saucers it in to the corner boards. Jablonski back. Puck deflects. And it's sent back down into the St. Anthony zone. That's Dom Castiglione. Castiglione chasing it, 65.
You know, Castiglione, a guy that's really come a long way, too, over the last 12 months. And there you see right there. You know, a few months ago, or even in the beginning of the year last year, he was afraid to take the hit or get the hit. Now he's been forcing the agenda this year. He's not afraid to disrupt. And they really credit that to the JV squad, but also the assistant coaches, says Bob Lund.
Chip and chase, especially with a 5-1 lead. Terry and they're also only forechecking with one now, it seems like. You've got the extra skater in the neutral zone to try to clog things up there as Terry sends it deep. Schaefer checked the rear view, saw DeAndrea there, so he realized he has to get rid of that puck quickly. Patron, as now here's Sumperiadis. Puck kept in by Cutterback. Or was it? Face-off out of the zone. I was sure, John, and I even told my wife when I was on my way to Dix Hills today, how am I going to say Cutterback's name without saying Clutterbuck?
Yeah, well, you passed it on the first try. What was her response?
She laughed. She's an Islander fan, so. Yeah. A mixed marriage at that.
Penalty.
It is against St. Anthony's. Valenti will go into the box. So third power play opportunity for Chaminade. They are 0 for 2 on the man advantage. And it's for them just gaining the blue line and getting sustained pressure there has been an issue. Federico behind the net. Auger at the point. Plays catch with Federico. Power play here for Chaminade. Centering pass. Takes a deflection. Conlin. He's assisted on the only Chaminade goal tonight. That was scored by Thompson. Landolfi And he was offside, much to the dismay and disbelief of the Chaminade bench.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty close one there. He's got a reason to be upset, but either way, it's just been a frustrating night for Chaminade. As you can see, the St. Anthony's just gotten into their heads, and use this as a lesson for Chaminade. Remember this feeling and know that you'll get your opportunity if everything bodes well and goes your way and you win. You will get another chance to face St. Anthony's down the road in a game that will mean a whole heck of a lot.
It's been a tough night for Landolfi. He's missed the last couple of weeks with a lower body injury, has returned, thought he had a goal. That was called back for the kicking motion. And captaining a side that is down 5-1 inside the final 4 minutes of a third period, that if this result stays the same, we'll see St. Anthony's finish first in the regular season and have home ice throughout the playoffs. .30 seconds left on the man advantage. Chaminade has struggled in all facets, including special teams tonight. They've not scored in the power play, though they've also given up a power play goal on their side. Auger, wrist shot, and the save, and again, the rebound control by Berhard.
I think if you're looking at your 3 stars of the game, you certainly have to throw Berhard in there. Now, he's done a fantastic job of just limiting this very potent Chaminade team to just 1 goal. Having said that, though, he's just been fantastic this entire year. I know you don't give a star based on a whole year's performance, but Berhard, certainly one of the top players in this contest. He, Colavecchio, as well as Brady Monteleone. Pretty good 3 stars there, right? Maybe DeLugos on the outside?
Through 2 periods, he's only had to make 14 saves. Wrist shot, again, it's blocked. Shots are just so hard to find its way through.
Well, and when they do, Berhard's there to gobble them out of the air.
St. Anthony's defensively so good, and you do have to give a lot of the credit to Alex Lund, Bob Lund's son, who played 4 years at URI, now joins his dad on the bench, along with Joe DeLuca as the other assistant coach. That's been a prideful thing, certainly, for Bob Lund. It's great to spend the extra time with your son and also have him take over the defensive responsibilities.
Yeah, it just gives you an opportunity to hone in on one thing, and you know that you've got a very experienced player who just so happens to be your son, but also has gone through the battles more recently and can relate to the younger players on the squad.
Puck cleared for an icing. And on the other bench, on that Chaminade bench, joining Ed Smith are some veterans, man. You've got Keith Macias and Mike Barnwell, but especially Vinny Capasso, man. Just the dean there. There's, you see Alex Lund on the St. Anthony's bench, but on the other bench, man, Vinny Capasso, his 26th season in the program. There's been a lot of different head coaches throughout the years. Capasso, though, is that Mr. Consistent, Mr. Compliant, I guess you're going to use.
The alliteration.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Baby Lund looks like he could still play.
Well, Lund, Dad Lund, as there's a takeaway. Oh, and there's a glove save. That was a terrific wrist shot by Conlon that was saved. But as of a couple of years ago, I know that Bob Lund was still strapping on those skates, playing the men's league along with his coaching counterpart, Ed Smith. They will trade barbs. They will trade fun sort of text messages. Not friends during these 45 minutes, but they will be afterwards as puck is cleared. Final 136 of a dominant game for St. Anthony's. Here comes Hedquist. He dangles. And he's sent down after losing the puck.
Good job in front. Good stick check by Jablonski. to rifle it free. It's just St. Anthony's time on the side of the Friars, and just a well effort, and they should be happy with themselves, not just for what this result means, but just the way that they played against a very quality, probably the top team in the league up until this point, but the Friars showing why they deserve to be the number one team at the end of the regular season.
Hey, listen, Chaminade, they'll lose this game tonight, but they are the two-time defending champions in this league.
Yeah, and don't forget about that and what it means for next year. These guys have won in the past. They know exactly how to do it. Don't let one tough loss to St. Anthony's, especially one where they were punched in the mouth right away, write them off.
Gergis looking for a consolation goal inside these final 8 seconds. And that does it. St. Anthony's, an incredible final week of the regular season. They are your regular season champions. They win it on the wins tiebreaker, tying Chaminade on points. And for Bob Lund, it means one thing: home ice for the rest, or for the playoffs that will start in a week's time.
You know, would it kill Bob to smile? His team just played a very good hockey game, and there is a little smirk out of Bob, which is good to see. This all started in the beginning of January in their win in Flushing against Monsignor Farrell, getting a dominant victory there, even though they were shorthanded, and then have just run roughshod through the rest of the league in the month of January. Bob Lund knew how well his team would play. He knew how they would respond, but it's a very difficult task to say, okay, you just need to win every single game the rest of the season, but his guys have responded. Congratulations to them.
Well, not only that, but then also get that tie by Farrell against Chaminade, right? You needed a result to go your way as well, and everything fell the way of the Friars. So congratulations to Bob Lund. And there you go. There's the buddies right there. A little word between Ed Smith and Bob Lund. Maybe the steak dinner now is on Ed Smith.
I think Ed Smith is saying we'll see you soon.
I suspect that's going to be the case. Again, Xavier and Monsignor Farrell in the playoffs. And now we know who's going to play who, right? It'll be St. Anthony's, the top seed. They will take on Monsignor Farrell. They've won the regular season. They swept Farrell 3-0 in the regular season. And then it's going to be Xavier and Chaminade in the other semifinal series. That's going to be best of 3. And then the championship series, again, if it's chalk, would pit St. Anthony's and Chaminade against each other, with home ice being at Clark Gillies Arena for the Friars.
Yeah, and this is what you play for. And you know what, for Chaminade, too, they'll have another opportunity at this. And I know we're a ways away, and if they are in the finals, it's not a real series until you win on the road, right? Not to say that it's impossible to win on the road, but that's exactly what Chaminade will have to do in that scenario. Either way, this has been well-deserved for St. Anthony's, playing well at the right time and moving on as the top seed in the playoffs.
Thomas Calavecchio, 2 goals and an assist to lead the way for the Friars. Brady Monteleone, a goal and 2 assists. Anthony Calavecchio with a pair of helpers as well, and single goals by Nick DeAndrea, by that man, Jack DeLugos, as well, to lead the Friars to a dominant 5-1 win and the regular season championship. It's been fun. That'll do it here from Clark Gillies Arena for our entire Varsity Media crew. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, bringing you all those moving images, Travis DeLuise and Ron Pierre, from my broadcast partner, John Perez. I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us here from Dix Hills tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.